Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy again, coming at you straightforward and direct with another one like the other one, but just a little different. Um, Tonight's subject matter is about parenting. What does it take to be a good parent to your child, right? I know it takes time. I know it takes sacrifice. I know it takes dedication, right? A lot of people have kids and they really wasn't ready to have kids. They really didn't want to have kids, okay? So we call these oops babies. A oops baby is an unplanned parenthood, unplanned pregnancies. So when some people have these unplanned pregnancies, they go with the flow. They learn to adapt to it, okay? They make this conscious decision in their mind that something took place. They didn't all the way decide to do it. They decided, but they didn't decide it. Like they were in, but they only had one foot in, and all of a sudden it happened. Okay, so what right-minded people do, what level-headed people do when they find themselves in a situation like this, what good-natured people do is they adapt to it and they start to make adjustments and changes in their lives, and they make these adjustments and changes in the way that they're living to fit the situation, because none of these babies and kids asked to be here. Like, we're all here because a man and a woman came together and had sex. I mean, literally, that's why we're here. Now, whether it was love between these two people or not, sometimes that's the case, sometimes it's not. But what does love have to do with it, right? The nitty gritty is the nitty gritty, and at the end of that nitty gritty, you have a pregnancy or you don't have a pregnancy. You have a planned pregnancy or you have an unplanned pregnancy. But when this child is in this earth, when this child reaches this life, the parents, they're responsible for this child. Okay, so what does it take to be a parent? I know it takes patience, right? But it takes a willingness to guide your child in the right direction. You have to it's bigger than just buying things for your child. It's bigger than, these superficial things that you do to show someone that you care. It goes deeper than that. You're actually responsible for guiding them in life. Okay, I'm going to say this again. You're responsible to guide them in life. This means that you're supposed to be having serious conversations with them about how to live life. Okay, you're supposed to teach them the basics. How do you interact with strangers? If you're not teaching them that, you're slipping. Okay. If you're not teaching them how to take care of themselves, as soon as they get understanding enough to understand right and wrong, if you're not teaching them how to be responsible, clean up behind yourself, do basic things that you need to do in order to take care of yourself. Okay. Um, Basic instructions, basic communications, that what you're trying to do is install in them a sense of responsibility. You want them to not only take care of themselves, you want them to be responsible. Okay. It's really not the school's responsibility. It's really not the teacher's responsibility to teach your kid ethics. Okay. It's not the educational system's responsibility to make sure that your child knows right from wrong. Okay. It takes time, and you have to sit down with your child every opportunity you get, every time that you get. You're supposed to be spending this, right? So that you can guide your child in the right direction. And if you don't do this, then you're rolling the dice. Okay, because you're going to allow society as a whole to dictate which direction your child goes. Okay, so does a product of your environment, does that exist? Products of environments do exist. For these parents who fumble the ball and they don't take, raising their kids seriously, this is what happens. Okay, so when you fumble the ball, you're going to allow society, this world, the society that we're in, this immoral society that we're in, this unethical society that we're in, okay? You're going to let them dictate which direction that your child goes, okay? They're going to be teaching them what is right and wrong. Not you, not the parent. The parent is supposed to be doing this. So, I tip my hat to you righteous parents out there who are actually trying everything possible to raise their kids up correctly, because you're at a constant tug of war with society. It's like you versus society. And this is a battle that you cannot afford to lose. Okay? Because if you lose this battle, your child can end up going in the wrong direction. And if they go in this direction, you don't know how this is going to turn out. Okay? Uh, Youth authorities, detentions, jails for juveniles, those places exist for a reason. Penitentiaries, prisons, these places exist for a reason. Okay. So, you're at a constant battle, okay, struggle over raising your child. And your number one opposition is society itself, because there's a lot of things that's taught out here on these streets that's not conducive with being responsible. Okay. So, it is your job to guide them down the right path and to make sure they understand right and wrong, okay? And to make sure they know how to be responsible. If your child does not know how to brush his teeth and you're not teaching them, you're at fault. If your child does not know how to wash himself or herself, you're at fault, okay? If they don't know how to communicate with you to let you know when they're in harm's way, if you haven't had this conversation with your child, you're at fault. Okay? It's not hard to fumble the ball. But this is not a game where you can afford to fumble the ball. You can't afford to do this, because not only is your child's life at stake, right? But their future is at stake. Okay? And like I said, it's the parent's responsibility. Look, you're the one who decided to have these kids. No one told you to have these kids. Okay? You decided to. Okay? You should have wore a condom. It's as simple as that. You should have wore a condom. If you did not want to have kids, you should have wore a condom. Okay? Okay? But now that they're here, they're your responsibility. They're your responsibility. No one else's responsibility. Okay? Family and friends, they can help you out, but it's the parents' responsibility to take care of their kids. And the most important thing that you're supposed to do is to teach your kids guidance, right from wrong. You have to have a conversation with them about right and wrong. Like I said, every parent, no matter what country you're in, you're up against the society that you're in when it comes to teaching them morals and ethics. Okay? So, do you understand the things you're supposed to be teaching your children? Are you taking out the time from your schedule to teach your kids right and wrong? Or are you gonna roll a dice and let society and let the people around them dictate and influence them? Okay? Or are you gonna be proactive and do what you're supposed to do as a loving guardian of your child? You know, in order to drive a car, you need a license, right? But for some reason, you know, um, the creator of this whole universe, right? The intelligent design behind this universe, for some reason, um, it was never dictated. It was never legislated, you know, into the divine scheme of things, that in order to be a parent, you need a license. But I'm beginning to wonder if you do, because there's a lot of misguidance. There's a lot of misguidance. And look, it's not rocket science. Okay. If your teenager doesn't know how to clean up behind themselves and they're old enough to understand, somewhere down the line you fumbled the ball. If your kids don't respect you, they don't respect you, somewhere down the line you fumbled the ball. Okay. If if your kids don't understand the importance of cleaning up behind themselves, or doing basic things, knowing how to take care of yourself on a basic level, right? If they don't understand these things, somewhere down the line, you fumbled the ball. And look, it's never too late to turn things around. But first, you have to acknowledge the fact that you're responsible for their well-being. You're responsible for their guidance. Okay. And that in order for you to make sure that they're going in the right direction, you have to spend every moment in time with them to make sure that they're going in the direction that they need to go to. This means you got to sacrifice time out your life. You know, it's not about you no more. It's about your kids, man. Okay. If it was about you, you should have thought about that. You should have wore a condom. Okay. Now it's about them. So what are you going to do to guide them in the right path? Okay. You got to think about that, man. It is your responsibility, no one else's.